Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. My salutations to the teacher who is instrumental in removing the layer of ignorance. Just a needle can remove the layer which is covering my eye. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, as we all know, today we'll be discussing about the life of Totapuri, who is the Vedantic teacher or the Sannyasa Guru of Sri Ramakrishna. And also today is a very auspicious day, being the birthday of Swami Shardananji, one of the apostles of Sri Ramakrishna. Now, a question may come for all of us, why we need to study these people's life history? Because they came and they have done their part and they left, and they are not incarnation, they are not even prophets. Why should we study such lives? So when we deeply try to study their lives, we get some inspiration, we get some motivation for our spiritual lives. And we may also get some insights for our attitudes and to understand about spiritual life, how one can discipline our life, discipline our time, mind, and etc. And this Totapuri is a great Advaitic monk who had experienced the self. So when we say we know the self, we might have read through scriptures and through Upanishads and through Prakarana Granthas, and we have come to know what is self. It is Nitya, it is Aja, it is Shashwata, and etc. But in Totapuri's case, when he says that he knows the self, that means he has experienced the self, that is Aham Brahmasmi. Where? In the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And he also initiated, he had a rare privilege that he was able to initiate Sri Ramakrishna into monastic vows. And he was also instrumental in Sri Ramakrishna's attainment of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and he also stayed for 6 months Sri Ramakrishna. For that, Totapuri is a instrumental in all this. When I thought today morning about his life to discuss, immediately a sloka, a mantra or a verse from Upanishad, Kathopanishad came to my mind. The sloka goes like this: Shravanayapi bahubir yona labhyaha shunvantopi bahavo yamna vidyuhu ascharyo vakta kushalosya labdha ascharyo gnata kushala anushishtaha. It is Kathopanishad 1.2.7. Means of that self which is not available for the mere hearing to many, which may do not understand even while hearing. The expounder of this knowledge is truly wonderful. The receiver indeed is wonderful. Wonderful is he who knows under the instruction of the adept. See here, 4 points are told by Rishi very clearly. Many of the people, or quite a few people, even they have not heard this Vedanta or about Atman or Brahman or the God. Even they have not heard, even forget about practice or thinking about it, even they have not heard. So very rare, very few people who have heard about all these things. So if we have heard about God, about self, about Atman, about spirituality, Vedanta, so we are few among them. And okay, very few have heard, no doubt, and many of them, they don't understand what it is, or many, or quite a few don't understand. Now, if we have understood something about Vedanta, about spirituality, Atman, again, we are much more blessed. We should feel happy about it. And among whomever they understand little, among them who have understood, some of them, they start feeling that we should try to achieve it. We should try to attain it. So there's a thought, there's a desire. And among those who got desire, very few people make an attempt. And among the attempts who make an attempt, very few people will be serious. And among the serious ones, maybe rarely 1 or 2 or 3 or very few will attain the self or the God. So the spiritual life is such a rare indeed. And if we are in this journey, we should all feel happy that we are all blessed, no doubt. And the second part of this sloka is telling, If one who is able to experience and able to explain this greatest truth is a rare, I mean, is a wonderful person. And similarly, if a person can understand it and he can put into practice, is much more wonder. We all of us, we have got seven wonders of the world, no doubt. And this is the eighth wonder, this is the ninth wonder. We keep on speaking. The Upanishad says all of them are not real wonders, like pyramids or a Taj Mahal or liberty of statue, monolith, etc., or different type of art and architectures. They are not real wonders. Maybe, but the real wonder is one who is able to explain the Vedanta or the self properly, and one who is able to experience, understand, and experience is much more wonder. That is the real wonder. Now, when you see the Totapuri's life and Sri Ramakrishna's life, this shloka of the Upanishad shloka, which is also seen in a Bhagavad Gita also, it holds good very nicely. Means wonderful teacher and wonderful student. When I was thinking about it immediately, a small story, a funny story, it got remembered, or it reminded me. The story goes like this. A Pandit, he was a good teacher, no doubt. He was taking the Bhagavad Gita Saptaha. Bhagavad Gita Saptaha means for 7 days, every day, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours or whatever. So he will teach Bhagavad Gita every day. So fourth or fifth day is over, and there are quite a few people, maybe a few thousands. So obviously the teacher was feeling happy, and he was also feeling a bit proud also about him, because so many people are able to, they are attending, and there is no reduce in the number. So after the fourth or fifth day, when after finishing his talk, when he went inside, he told to one of his disciples, look, how so many people have come and so many people have attended, and they're attending, and etc. etc. And this disciple is a faithful disciple. He also said, yes, teacher, I'm very happy about it, all these things. And he said, sir, but I didn't understand only one thing in your whole entire talk. The teacher was very happy. So everything you understood only except one point. That's good. You have heard well. That means you are a very good student, and all. Even the teacher praised him. In the Dhyana Shloka of Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse called Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogda Gopala Nandanaha. Means, sir, like the Upanishad is considered as compared to a cow. So Sarva Upanishado Gavo. If all the Upanishads, if it is considered as a cow, milking cow, Dogda Gopala Nandana. Gopala Nandana, that is Krishna, he is milking the cow. And what is that milk? Milk is called Bhagavad Gita here. The Upanishad is compared as a cow, and who is milking the cow? He is Krishna. And what is the milk? Milk is considered as the Gita. So it is the quintessence of the Upanishads, basically. So this is the shloka. Now, Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogda Gopala Nandanaha. This is the shloka goes. But somehow, unfortunately, the disciple understood it is Do Gada Nandana. So in Hindi, Do means two, Gada means donkeys actually. So Do Gada Nandanaha, he has understood, unfortunately, and he asked, teacher, can I tell what is my doubt? Then the Guru said, he was very happy about so many people have heard, and Shishya is telling except one, everything he has understood. And he felt very happy. He felt that there's a crown on his head. And when he heard that, what is that Do Gada Nandanaha? Then the teacher kept his hand, and he could understand what is the understanding level of his own student. He felt very sorry. Then he said, what to do? Do Gada, one is me and one is you. One is I am the donkey, and you are that other donkey. On the lighter side, I used to say. So like that, sometimes very best teachers may be available, but if we are not ready, the teachings can go off not much good. But whereas in Sri Ramakrishna's case and in Totapuri's case, it was not so. Totapuri, when he observed Sri Ramakrishna, when he saw Sri Ramakrishna, he understood he is the right person, is the fit person to practice Vedanta. And instantly asked, oh, would you like to practice Vedanta? I am ready to initiate you. And Sri Ramakrishna said, as a child, with a child innocence, he said, I don't know anything. My mother knows everything. So Totapuri thought mother means it's a biological mother. Then Sri Ramakrishna, he says, okay, you go and ask, and you get the permission and come back. Then Sri Ramakrishna goes and asks Divine Mother Kali, a monk has come, a naked one, Nangta has come. He wants to teach Vedanta. What should I do? Mother says, yes, I have brought him for you only. Yes, you go and learn. And that's how Sri Ramakrishna was initiated into sannyasa and he attended Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Now, Totapur is a great spiritual personality and he has experienced self, he has attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi and he is teaching. If the disciple is not ready, he may not be able to attain that goal. Because Totapur himself took 40 years to attain Nirvikalpa Samadhi, whereas in 3 days, Sri Ramakrishna experienced Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which Totapur himself expressed that it is a divine mystery. How is it possible? So, 40 years of intense tapasya by which Nirvikalpa Samadhi was attained by Totapuri, which is the culmination of the Vedantic sadhana, highest transcendental experience. So basically, he reached his final goal or ultimate goal. Now, here, one more point we have to understand here. So, if we sincerely strive, it may take 1 year, it may take 3 years, it may take few years or few decades or few lives, we can reach the ultimate goal. And many people keep on asking, Swamiji, I am meditating and I am not able to control the mind. Recently, one youngster was asking, I said, fine, how much are you meditating? He said, morning 108 times I'm repeating the mantra and evening 108 times mantra. I said, fool. Just to do one graduation, just for one degree, we 16 to 17 years we take. And to control the mind, which is the difficultest part in the life, and to control it morning 10-15 minutes or half an hour, evening half an hour, if you sit and meditate, and you say that you should be able to control your mind, you should be able to progress in spiritual life, how is it possible? It is not possible. So you have to increase your mind, increase your spiritual practices. So, Totapuri's life can be the testimony for us, an assurance that if you practice seriously, sincerely spiritual practices, one can reach the goal, ultimate goal, that is experience of self or experience of God. Now, this Totapuri is born in a Hindu family on 1780 in the Punjab. In the western part of the northwest part of the India, in the Punjab, is the place name is called Kaithal, it's something like that. Now, one more interesting point, this is similarity with among across the globe, across all religions with saints. Prophets, incarnations, and saints, this is one common thing. Like even in the case of Nivedita, we can see she didn't had a children, and Nivedita's mother, noble, she went and she prayed for Jesus Christ, and if I conceive, then I will be offering the child at the altar of the God. The same thing we can see in the Totapuri's case also. Since Totapuri's parents, they didn't have children for a long time, for a good amount of time. And there was a local practice in those area, western part or northwestern part of the India, that they used to go to the god, particular home deity or tutelary deity. They said she prayed. Totapuri's mother prayed that if I conceive and if I give a birth to a child, I am going to offer the son to the Lord by joining him to the monastery, which is very difficult, you see. So she is taking a resolve that if I get a son, I am going to leave the son in the monastery. And whether now the son wants it or not, we don't know. But she has taken the resolve. She took the spiritual resolve here. So in all the saints' life, so the children are not born because of the male and female communion. It is because of the divine's grace. Same thing we can see in the life of Christ, life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the life of Ramakrishna, in the life of Sister Nivedita. So in all the great saints, I think it is because of divine grace they take birth. It is not natural ones. Now, she conceived and she gave a birth, and in just in 5 years, when the Tota was 5 years, Tota means parrot actually in Hindi, so his name is called Tota. He was named as Tota. In 1780 he was born. Imagine, at the age of 5, 1785, he was taken to the monastery as her mother had prayed. So her mother was a very pious lady, spiritual in nature or religious in nature, because she had prayed and she had promised the Lord. So now she wanted to maintain her words. As a result, at the age of 5, Tota was taken to the monastery. that is called in Ladana, in Kurukshetra near Punjab. There is a Rajpuri Mutt. There is called Rajpuri Mutt, which belongs to Advaita Sampradaya, Advaita tradition. There he was taken and he was left at the age of 5. Now, so from 1785 to 1812, Totapuri underwent severe monastic training. Under severe monastic training. There, he tried to control his mind, he tried to control his senses. Not only that, he spent a lot of time or a good amount of time in spiritual progress. So here, Abhyasa and Vairagya comes into picture. Now, this Abhyasa and Vairagya is the tool, the only tool from which we can control our mind. All of us, we know that. You may bring any theories, any amount of theories, all will be based on this. Now, what is this Abhyasa? And there's a beautifully, it has been explained by Patanjali. Many of us, we don't know this. Abhyasa means practice, Vairagya means renunciation or detachment, indifference, we know that. But Abhyasa consists of 3 components which we don't really think about it. And when I was studying Totapuri's life, I was able to remember or recollect this Patanjali Yoga Sutras definitions of Abhyasa very clearly. Like Totapuri's life was a living commentary for this Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So, in the first chapter, Kaivalya Pada, in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, 13th Sutra explains what is Abhyasa. Tatra sthito yatnaha abhyasa. Yatno abhyasa means yatnaha abhyasa. Means practice means the steadfast effort to keep the mind still. There the commentator says that one should increase sattvika vrittis, reduce rajasika and tamasika vrittis, and one should control his mind and fix the mind on a particular object. So that is what Abhyasa. This in Gita also we know Shruti Vipritipanata Yadasta Sinishtala Samada Vachala Buddhi Tada Yogam Avapsasi, 2nd chapter, 53rd sloka, I think. Yeah. Krishna also has told same thing. Now, Abhyasa consists of 3 parts or 3 components, important parts, according to the Patanjali. So, Tatra Sthito Yatna Abhyasa. What is Abhyasa has been defined by Patanjali. And what is that Abhyasa? He tells in the next sutra, that is in the 14th sutra, in the Kaivalya Pada, that is the first chapter. Satu Dirghakala Nairantarya Satkara Sevito Dhudabhumihi. Practice becomes firmly established when it has been cultivated uninterruptedly and with a devotion for a long period of time. Now, I will give details. Satu, tu means but, sa means the Abhyasa, saha means Abhyasa, Dirghakalaha. Dirghakala means there should be longevity. Okay, I got inspired now. I will do a meditation for 1 or 2 weeks or 3 weeks because we go to meditation courses, meditation retreats, 10 days Vipassana meditation. For 10 days, I practiced meditation. Then I came back to house 1 or 2 or 3 days or few days I did. Then slowly I left it. Then can I control my mind? No. So that should be Dirghakala. It is not for a given point of time like a project. It is a lifelong project. Till when? Till attending the Nirodha, according to Patanjali. So it is Dirghakala. Dirghakala means long time. Then the second is Nairantarya. Okay, morning and evening, half an hour, 1 hour, or 2 hours, I do it. Rest of the time, I leave my mind as I wish. My mind is traveling. It is making a world tour. I've left my mind completely free. It is doing all nonsense. And only meditation time I'm spiritual. Other times I'm not. It cannot be like that. It is Nairantarya. It is constantly without break. Means one should be careful about his mind even other times. Not only meditation time, even other times. So one is Dirghakala, there should be longevity, lifelong project, long time. There is Nairantarya. Nairantarya means Nirantarasya Bhava. Nirantara means constantly, without break. And the third is very important is Satkara Sevita. Satkara Sevita means with devotion. And there's a translation or meaning is with devotion. Here with devotion means what? Means with faith, with a zest, with enthusiasm, with a positive mindset. Oh, scriptures have told I have to meditate. Okay, I'm meditating. I'm not missing one day also. Every day I'm meditating. Just I'm supposed to do meditation. I am doing meditation, but I am not enjoying it. I am not enthusiastic. Just as a because of the vidhi, because I've taken a resolve, I am doing it. I am not really enthusiastic about my spiritual practices. It cannot be that. With a zest, with enthusiasm, one has to take that. Because spiritual struggles are not that easy. When we can control outside people, it's some difficult. When we control our own mind, our own, we are fighting with our own enemies, it is quite difficult. It is understandable, but with enthusiasm, one has to practice. So we should start enjoying the struggles. We should start enjoying the path which we have taken. That is what called Satkara Sevita. When these three things are there, then only Abhyasa is perfect. That's why practice makes man perfect. People say, I say, perfect practice makes man perfect. Anyhow, now Vairagya, just one slok, I mean, sutra is there. Just I will mention, I will go further. So the sutra goes like that. Drashtanu Shravika Vishaya Vitrushnasya Vashikar Sangna Vairagya. Means detachment refers to the state of being without craving for sense objects, either known or even merely heard about. Like in front of me, there is a cake. So one is desiring, mind is craving. That should be controlled. And not only that, you hear something, there is a beautiful eatable is there somewhere available in the hotel or in the particular spa or Aldi or Lidl. Even if you hear also, your mind should not crave for it. So it is not the state of non-living being or insentiency. It is rather transferring oneself from all these sense pleasures or sense gratifications. So Tota, at the age of 5, he went to the monastery, and the monk name or his guru name was Gnanpuri Maharaj, Baba Gnanpuri Maharaj, and he was the pontiff or mahant of this Rajpuri Mutt, where it was in Haryana, in a Karnal district, and which was one of the large monastery in those days. It was one of the quite large monastery, as Sri Ramakrishna himself in his reminiscences or in his based on Totapuri's utterances, he says that around 600 monks were living in this what you say Rajpuri Mutt during Totapuri's time or his guru's time. So from 1785 to 1812, Tota stayed under his with his guru, and he practiced severe disciplines. Then, in after 1812, say, this Gnanpuri Maharaj, he started traveling based on some reasons. He started come to the western part of the India, basically Gujarat, because they had one more ashrama there also. It was called Karnali near Vadodara. So, along with his guru, Gnanpuri Maharaj, Tota also came along with them, and he stayed there, which is on the bank of the Narmada River. And the presiding deity of this monastery or monastic tradition is what? Kapila Muni, very interesting. Who is Kapila Muni? If you remember, Kapila Muni is the founder of the Sankhya philosophy, the ancient philosophy of the India and of the world also we can take. Even this is the ancient philosophy, even than the Vedanta. Before Vedanta, even Sankhya exists. So Sankhya founder is what? Kapila Muni. And Kapila Muni is the presiding deity of these people, monastery. So in this Vadodara Karnali, there was a temple dedicated to Shiva, because the presiding, I mean, the guru of the monks, and also the Kapila Muni temple, and on the bank of Narmada. So here, Totapuri or Tota stayed for 40 years, and he did his sadhana, and he experienced Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So basically in the Gujarat, see, before 40 years, almost again 10, 15 years already he has done. And here 40 years he stayed in one place in Vadodara, there is a Gujarat, and he did his intense tapasya, intense sadhana, and he experienced Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So they belong to Mahanirvani Akhada and Puri Sampradaya. So these are the two things which probably you would like to know. Now, Mahanirvani Akhada. What is this Akhada? Akhada means simple, that the simple meaning of the Akhada means it is like a training ground or the space which is for wrestling area. So Akada can mention two things. One is even in the India in the olden times, if you see there is a called Akadas where they used to wrestle and they used to fight, they used to practice fighting and they used to build their bodies. So either physical building or spiritual building, that space, that area is called Akadas. So why this wrestling area is called Akada? Why? Fine, but these monasteries are also called Akadas. Or why? Because they are building their spiritual life, taming their mind, and they are building their spiritual life. And apart from that, these Akadas mostly they were militant sadhus also. The traditional sadhus, monks, or sannyasis, they only know Shastra only. They only control their mind, they control their sense organs, and they practice celibacy and chastity, and they study scriptures, and they do spiritual life. Now, these akadas mostly, if not all, mostly they build their physical life. That's where in this, even in Tota's life, if you see, we understand that they had to do a lot of hard physical manual works. Why? So that they can be physically fit. And of course, Tota was also well-built personality. He was very tall and very robust personality, Tota. Why? Because they were militant sadhus. So Shastra was read little and Shastra was practiced more. If any, what you say, if any invasion or if any problem comes to the dharma and if any problem comes to the temple or the monks, and these akadas, militant sadhus, used to go with the weapons, with the sword and the weapons, and they used to protect the country and protect the religion and protect the worship places. That's why it is called akhada. Now, and it is also Tota, once he takes a sannyasa, he is called Totapuri. Why this is called Puri? The Puri is the surname. Now, we had a monastic tradition in India. Buddha, he institutionalized Buddhic monastic system. But till the advent of Shankaracharya, 8th century, which is often accepted, but it is actually still goes further back. Anyhow, 8th century, though there's a Hindu monasticism was there, it was never institutionalized. Adi Shankaracharya, he institutionalized Hindu monastic system. He brought different traditions under one umbrella, which is called Dashanami Sampradaya. Dasha means 10, Nami means name or divisions. Okay, so he unified Hindu monastic tradition under one umbrella and he institutionalized. So that these monasteries can revive and protect and spread the Sanatana Dharma, Hindu Dharma. And also they'll be able to, by preaching, by practicing and by preaching, they'll be able to spread the Hindu Dharma. For that, traditionally, four corners of the India, four matas or four traditional monasteries were set up. In the east, what do you say? In the east, it was Puri. In the Puri, the place, Jagannath Puri, we know, in the Puri it was done, it is called Govardhana Mata. And for that pontiff, so Shankaracharya said, from today onwards, your duty is to protect and to spread Rig Veda. And under you, there are two, monks, traditions will follow. They will come, that is called Tirtha and Ashrama. You can take surname, for example, Tirtha and Ashrama. For example, Achalananda Tirtha, if you say, then Tirtha is what the surname. So he belongs to the lineage of Tirtha and Ashrama. Then Shankaracharya established a monastery in the western part of India, that is in Dwaraka. That is called Kalikamat. There, the Dwaraka monastery was supposed to protect Samaveda, and Aranya and Vana. These two sampradayas were given to the western part of India. Then in the north, Badrinath, Jyotirmat it is called, Atharvana Veda was given, Giri, Parvata, Sagara. These three traditions was handed over to the northern part of the India. On the southern part of India, Shungeri, in the place Shungeri, the Sharda Pita was established, and Yajurveda was asked them to spread and protect, and Bharati, Saraswati, and Puri were given, handed over to them. So Bharati, Saraswati, and Puri. Now Tota, because he comes under this Puri Sampradaya, that's why he's called Tota Puri. So his name is Tota and Puri is his surname. Now, so it was his pre-monastic name, why his name has not been changed? So it depends on the gurus. Gurus may say that whatever name is there, add Puri and you can go ahead. And some places it can change, and some places you may not change. It depends on guru. Mostly it is being changed, but some places, some occasions are very rare occasions we see where they don't change the name, their pre-monastic name, and they add the surname. That's all. So that's how Tota comes under this Puri Sampradaya. That's why it's called Tota Puri. So these are the 10 Sampradayas. And apart from that, Akhada has been started. Now, there are difference of opinions in this. I think it was Jahangir, probably after Akbar. There was a lot of problems for Hindus and Hindu temples and even monks, ascetics and all. So Madhusudana Saraswati, a great, again, Advaitic scholar, he has written Advaita Siddhi, Magnanopus on the Advaita Vedanta. Afterwards, no other book has come in such a way. So he approached the Mughal king and he said, please, you are being a king, you are supposed to protect your subjects. So we Hindus are also your subjects. You are supposed to protect us from these invasions, from this Mughal, I mean, from this Muslim invasions and etc. His own people, of course, the king. Then the king said, okay, but why don't you prepare people all the time instead of coming and requesting for me? Why don't you prepare yourselves among you where you can protect yourselves? Why are you coming and asking me? Why don't you prepare a battalion by which you can protect your dharma, your religious places, your monks and ascetics and whatnot? Madhusudana Saraswati said, yes, fairly well it is. And he brought this akhadas, where so they don't study very traditionally, like very deep scriptures. Some may study, some may not study, but basic things will be done, and they build their personalities and they do very hard work and hard life they lead, and they even learn sword fighting and etc. And they will be the militant sadhus. If there's a problem to the country, problem to the dharma, problem to the monasteries or religious places, they will come and they will fight for them. So these were called Naga sadhus. No, but according to traditionally, in the 5th or 6th century itself, based on some records available, written records available, 5th and 6th century itself, this akhadas has been started. It is a loose congregation, whereas in this matas, it is a very tight congregation. Anyhow, there are 10 to 13 types of akhadas are there. Among them, 8 are Shaiva Sampradaya and Sannyasa Sampradaya, 8 akhadas, and 7 Sampradayas belongs to Vaishnav, and 2, it is either Shaiva or Vaishnav, it is called Udasina akhada, 2 anyhow. Now in the Shaiva Sampradaya, Shaiva and Sannyasa Sampradaya, 8 akhadas, there is called Avahana, just I'm telling names, we need not to bother for all these things. Avahana, Atal, Ananda, Niranjani, Mahanirvani, Juna, Agni, and Gudat. Now, Mahanirvani Akhada, I said, now I am giving all this reference because there. So, Mahanirvani Akhada, you can see here, which was a Shaivit and Sannyasa Sampradaya. So, Totapuri belongs to Mahanirvani Akhada. Today, we Ramakrishna Mission also belongs to Mahanirvani Akhadas. And the biggest akhada is Juna Akhada, which is also a part of Shaiva and Sannyasa Sampradaya. In the Vaishnava Sampradaya, there are 7 akhadas. Nirmohi, Digambari, Nirlambi, Kaki, Nirvani, Santoshi, Tatambari, like that. And in Udasin Sampradaya, there are 2 akhadas, and Bada and Naya, that's all. And all Naga sadhus comes under this Dashanami Sampradaya. Now, if you see in Kumbh Mela, a lot of Naga sadhus you see. So every akhada has got their set of Naga sadhus. They are militant sadhus. So Shastra and Shastra both has to be learned by this Naga sadhus. They are militant sadhus basically. And this, he being a Naga Sampradaya, he is from Puri Sampradaya and Mahanirvani Akhada, and is a Naga sadhu since. So he has well-built personality. He had a long matted hair he had, and undressed and untrimmed a long beard he had. And most of the times he was naked, or sometimes he used to use kopina, that is a lion cloth. And in 1852, he received the Naga Sannyasa Diksha, that's a Naga Sampradaya Diksha, Sannyas Diksha, monastic vows at Ardha Kumbh Mela at Prayagraj. Now Kumbh Mela is going to start. We all know that, isn't it? So in 1852, there was a Ardha Kumbh Mela. There he received his monastic vows, and he had a double promotion basically. He received his monastic vows, and also simultaneously he became a Mahant. Mahant means pontiff. And also, there is one more special category among them. Totapuri also became the Ashtamurti, means among 8 special people among the pontiffs. He also became Ashtamurti Mahant of Mahanirvani Akada in Maharashtra between 1852 to 1856. Why? Because it is again, it's based on elections. There's a lot of democracy there also. Based on elections, they are elected or selected. So that's why for 6 years, 2 terms, he was elected as a Ashtamurti Mahant, and he was in Maharashtra also. Now he was in Punjab. Then after 40 years, he was in Gujarat. Now he is in Maharashtra. Why? Because by that time, this Mahanirvani Akada headquarters had shifted to Maharashtra itself. In the Nagpur or near Nagpur, the Nagpur and Bhar. This Bhar Jagir. Jagir means it was given by kings. Bhar is Bharadvaja Gotra, Bharadvaja Muni stayed. It has been condensed form is Bhar. So the place called Bhar, there he stayed from 1850 to 1856. And he was it was the headquarters of Mahanirvani Akada, so he stayed there and he was the pontiff of that. And interestingly, there were some land disputes during that time, so he had to go to the court and he had to appear in the court and he had to protect the land of the monastery. In 1855, there was a Kumbh Mela in Haridwar. Probably it was a Purna Kumbh Mela. He was given the responsibility to look after the arrangements of Kumbh Mela. Now you see, very interesting point is, he is a monk, is a sadhu, no doubt, and he has attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi already. And such person has been given the responsibility of looking after the Kumbh Mela, and he did nicely, thoroughly. That's what they say. So even after getting Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he was able to work. He was able to do Loka Sangraha. So in 1855, so Kumbh Mela in Haridwar, I think it is also Ardha Kumbha only again. So here he was given the responsibility to look after the arrangements of Kumbh Mela, which he did very thoroughly and which was well acknowledged and appreciated. And in 1858, because after 3 years, there was a Purna Kumbh Mela at Prayagraj. And here also, he played a major role in arrangements of the Kumbh Mela. So that yoga karmasa kaushalam, we say that dexterity in work, we can see very clearly. Now, in this, after this Purna Kumbh Mela, again, at the initial days, he was around 25 years, he stayed in the Rajpuri Mutt with his guru. So at the age of 5, he joined the monastery in the Rajpuri Mutt in the Punjab, and for 25 years around, he stayed with his guru and he did sadhana. From there, he came to Gujarat. For 40 years, he is there and he did his sadhana and he attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And for a few years, he was in Maharashtra. For 6 years around, say. Now, again, he went back to Rajpuri Mutt. Why? Because he had to take care of the Rajpuri Mutt now, and he was made as pontiff from 1859 to 61. For 2 years, he was in the Rajpuri Mutt. Now, 1862 to 1866, he traveled different parts of India as a part of itinerant monk, as a Parivrajaka. There, he was very strict about his life, about his eating and all, and more than 3 days, he never stayed in a place. So, based on the available records from the Punjab or Haryana, he went to Gangotri. Gangotri is what? The birthplace of the Ganga. So, probably he might have visited Chardham also. And there is a interesting circuits actually. It is called parikramas. The standard, very famous parikrama is Narmada Parikrama in India. Narmada Parikrama means Narmada circuit. The circuit goes like this. From the birthplace of Narmada, they start. It goes a few hundred kilometers, maybe a few hundred kilometers. So they will walk. How the Narmada river travels, goes, they go, and Narmada merges in Arabian Sea. Till then there goes, they surround it and they come back other side, and again they come back and they stop where they started, the birthplace of Narmada. So that is called Parikrama, Narmada Parikrama. It will take generally 1 year. If you roughly between 30 to 50 kilometers every day, if you walk, more or less it is 30 kilometers if you take, it will take 1 year. Some people say that only 10 meters away I will be there from Narmada river. How much ever ups and downs are there, I will go. And some they go as much as possible near to the river will be there. Like that they take sankalpa, some go by foot, some with slippers, without slippers, some they touch money, some they don't touch money. They take different sankalpas and they leave. This is their one. And one more in southern part of India, which is very rare. Very few people they do. That is Kaveri Parikrama. That is Kaveri river has taken birth. From there, they go and again Arabian Sea. They till they go and again it come back. And one more, which is a very longest route, and very few people they do Ganga Parikram. Means from Gangotri they start until Ganga Sagar. They come and again they go back to Gangotri. That is called Ganga Parikrama. And he went to Gangotri and he had the darshan of Mother Ganga or the birthplace, and he had a holy deep and all. Probably he might have visited Chardhams also. And again he came to the Gangotri, that's Ganga Sagar, where the Ganga merges with the Bay of Bengal. And during Sankranti, Makar Sankranti, that's we are getting, I think, 15th of January, Makar Sankranti, which is very auspicious day, and he had a holy dip. Now, interestingly, you see, he is a Advaitin, he has attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi, but he is following all the rituals and all the scriptural injunctions. For Totapuri, for himself is not required, but since he is a sadhu, he has to follow that. One is that, and it is also a probably an example for the common people and for the sadhakas how one should live the life based on the scriptural injunctions. So he took a ritualistic bath in the Ganga Sagar during Makara Sankranti. From Ganga Sagar, Bengal, we know that. From there, he came to Orissa, that is Jagannath. Puri Jagannath he came and he had a vision, darshan of Puri Jagannath. From Puri Jagannath, he came to Kolkata and he visited Dakshineshwar. And he came and he sat, the Dakshineshwar temple complex. One fine day, he saw, he saw Sri Ramakrishna and he asked, and Sri Ramakrishna agreed, based on the mother's command, and we all know that. So basically, and their sadhana, how they do, but we don't have much details, but there are few discussions or few details are available. One example, they say that Totapuri had 3 possessions, as Sri Ramakrishna says. One is kamandalu, brass kamandalu, brass water pot, and the other is pair of tongs, because all the Nagsadhus, they use it because to kindle the fire and to use for charcoal and all, etc. Second thing. And the third is a deer skin. These are the 3 possessions Totapuri had, as Sri Ramakrishna tells. Totapuri had only these 3 possessions. And how this is done, as in their lives, we see that. So when they join, generally they are given the soft cushion itself, maybe with a small pillow or soft cushion with a thick cloth. So one can sit on that and one has to start practicing meditation. And bit by bit, slowly, he has to practice for a few hours of meditation every day. And when he is able to sit physically, Stiram Sukham Asanam, if you can sit steadily without having any pain or without changing the positions and without shaking the body for a long time, that is what called asana, according to Patanjali. One who gets established in that asana siddhi, in that asana, then the cushion is removed and maybe a thick cloth is given, it seems, for them. And when he's able to get asana siddhi and when he's able to control his mind, even that soft cloth is removed and just a piece of cloth or a deer skin is given, just used as a mat as for their sitting, it seems. And similarly with the food also. And similarly with their sleep also. And most of them probably slowly they had to sleep on the mat or even on the floor. So all the hardships they were given for them. But morning and evening regularly, wherever they are, they try to worship the fire. So they try to gather the firewood and they lit the fire, and morning and evening they worship. They do they do simple puja and they do arati for the fire, that is called dhuni. And whatever the food they get through bhiksha, they used to offer the food for the fire god, and as a prasad, as an offering, they used to take. So they are very serious and they're very sincere and they're very sensitive to the fire worship in the form of dhuni. That is their, their tradition. So as I told, around 700 monks during Totapuri time in the Rajpuri Mutt was there. But during his time in the different parts of other ashramas in other places, totally belong to their tradition, around 10,000 monks were there. I mean, at least 10,000 Naga sadhus were there. That's what we see. And interestingly, and in their monastery, their pontiff was elected by the monks or by the sadhus itself. And so, because these akhadas, if not all, most of the akhadas, they have got a lot of money, a good amount of gold probably, and they have got good amount of property also. So they used to believe whoever has experienced the self, means Atma Gnani, Brahma Gnani, or who has attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he alone or is capable of, he is alone is fit to rule us. Why? Because when he gets a power, he may fall from that. He may think something else. And because there's a lot of power, lot of money, and lot of property, his life may be at stake. So they used to be very careful, and they used to elect such a monk or such a sadhu or a baba only who has experienced the self, who has attained the ultimate reality. That's why Totapuri was also elected as a pontiff, Mahant of their monastery, because they knew that he has attained the Nirvikalpa Samadhi and he is a Paramahamsa sannyasi. So these are the few details about his life. Now, how when he meets Sri Ramakrishna, what happens, and other things I shall try to discuss in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.